So make sure you, when you take a breath or you're starting a phrase, or if you're not happy with the tempo, that you show something. So I think that's it. Keeping a bit of an eye contact, I find it's essential too. So maybe rather than facing completely that way, I personally like when I play the piano, I like to be here and I like to have this contact, because if you want to do something, you can do things like that. So maybe rather than turning your stand away from him, you could try having that, because I felt often that he's just trying to follow your notes, and there's no direct communication, and it makes things much better. So that's one. And another is about dynamics and colors in this piece, or in general in music. When it says forte, it's not just louder, but it's a different intensity. And to me it feels it's not enough. Especially the ending. The climax obviously is in the end, right, in this piece. So I wonder if we can improve on that in getting you to project more. Because it is a concertino, it's not a sonata. It's originally for flute and orchestra. So we do need to have some sort of soloistic approach to this, It feels a little bit too chipper for this piece. Let's go back to the beginning. Since we have quite a bit of time, we can dive in a little more detail. The opening line in this, you have various slurs and articulations, but generally speaking, it is legato. Also, I'm curious about something. Yeah, you have Louis Moïse version. It's a problem with all the music you play. If you have Erta text edition, which is just what the composer wrote and nothing else. Or you have edited version, which is the case here, because I was following the text and I have it here in my tablet. There are some dynamics and things which are interpretation of Louis Moyes, and you can agree with it, but it shouldn't be imposed on you before you even had a chance to make your own opinion. Like in the cadenza, for instance, that mezzo forte on the minor, in Cheminade's version, she has not written anything. You know, there are no dynamics, so it's up to you to decide whether minor is stronger or weaker than the major. You know, fa, sol, la, do, la, la, sol, fa, sol, fa. It could be fa, sol, la, do, la. The minor normally is softer, right? But Louis Moyes thought, no, it's a dramatic minor here. If you choose to agree, fine, but I think you had no choice to think about this, right? Because in the, where is this? Yeah. Here you have pianissimo written on major, which is not from Cheminade. She didn't write anything there. There are no dynamics. So it also puts extra stress on you there. And then mezzo forte and fa, sol, la, do, la, la, sol, fa, sol. So I highly recommend whatever you play, always get the text edition, because then you have only the first-hand information from the composer and nothing else. And you can, of course, study with edited versions and see what the editors thought, but for me it's always, especially when it comes to earlier music like Mozart, Bach, essential to play for text. But even here too, so if you like, you can follow this. Might not look as familiar, but I think it's better. Okay, so the first phrase, it's definitely legato and singing in nature, right? So we have mi, fa, la, fa, fa, mi, re, mi, re, mi. You don't want articulation to get in the way of that. Because I felt a little bit mi, fa, la, fa, fa, mi, re, do, si, la, si. I hear every border and there's a bit of space in between every slur. Can we get that more legato? Did I get an A? It's cold in here. Wash out. By the way, when you tune, you were struggling in the same way. You were a little low, right? So keep in mind that sometimes it's the temperature. Like in this room, it's pretty cold. It's what, 21 degrees Celsius, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. Sorry. I would definitely make sure the flute is warm enough before trying that A. So, because it does affect the pitch like this. Right? Close enough. Slightly more pushed in than usual, but yeah. So the first phrase, look. Articulation is just like syllables in a word. But all of it should be connected. I think no daylight between the notes, so no gaps. If you have to breathe, find a good place, maybe C. Is that where you took the breath? But let's try have that legato feeling. And it says mezzo forte dolce, so it means comfortable singing volume, right? Not forced. You play with a violin, right, for the next piece. You know how they play up bow, down bow, it's different articulation. It will be or it's a different attack. Can we have an up bow attack for the first note? So not, but phrase just standing in one place? Can it somehow move as well? So it's going up to the top, to the A. Can we make that not da 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 da? It's too clear. Can it be expressive rubato there? What does it say? Something like the triplets, right? Not rigorous. So kind of as if they were almost the same and one is just lengthened, you know? What we don't want is we don't want that, you know, vertical approach there, but horizontal. So not completely mathematically accurate, but expressive. Good. What about the B? What direction is that? You know, every note in the phrase you can think of is going down or up. Fa, mi, re, do, si, la, si, do, re, fa, sol. That's where the direction is changing. And luckily, because mostly upper notes are stronger naturally with the voice, you know, we can follow that, the phrase shape as you see from the page. So can you try to make more relief in this? Let's do one more time, the whole phrase. Good. Yes, so now we're following a little bit more. That. You can also help with vibrato highlight the high points. Now, after that, fa, mi, re, do. So we have a down bow. Fa, mi, re, do, fa, mi, and then an up bow on the next one. Can we hear that difference? Don't rush. Yeah, be careful. I noticed sometimes you have places, for some reason, they go suddenly in a different tempo. This is one of them. So, mi, fa, la, fa, mi, re, do, fa. It can move a little bit, of course. I'm not saying it has to stay static, but some places you're just taking off. So be careful not to change the tempo suddenly. You want to try it together? Why don't you go from the beginning?
Sure.
Can you repeat the notes still? Open up the sound. Thank you. Why is it not getting to that point? What is in the way to get to that? So why is it not opening up enough? You know? Physically, what's because before we fix it, we need to know what's wrong with it, right? So what makes the difference? What I'm hearing is your air direction is always that way. You're not changing for forte, so that's why you're not getting enough traction. You know, the air you need more air to make more sound, and to get more air in the flute, we generally have to change the direction down. So to get this to see, the higher you lift, the softer it gets, because because we're wasting more and more air, right? So if you want louder, it's the opposite. We need to get more air into the flute, so the air has to go more down direction. Can you try that now? So try to put the air down this way. You also, if you listen carefully, you can hear the center of the note. Look. So this is too sharp, I'm exaggerating, but I'm hearing a mild version of that from you. And the vibrato kicks in above the center. We want vibrato to be in the center. So try that. See if you can lower the center of the note. Better? Good? Oh, but careful with the ending so it doesn't go, oh. So for that, the end of the note, always look, the air goes up. Okay? But now down. Still, yeah, you can close it. So the air has to go fast enough too. If it's a bit too slow, you're getting sad sound, so don't get sad, get a happy A. Somewhere that direction. No, that's too high. I'm hearing. We need to move it quite a bit. Good. Can you get your vibrato a bit more active? Not but a bit faster. Generally lower. Not an O vowel here. O. So think of yawning and O here. So it opens as well, the resonance. But then don't let the note die. You don't want it to go. No. It keeps sitting. It keeps going up. But not the air direction. Good. It sounds like a nice mezzo piano. Now can we get it to forte? Really? Oh. So now the air is going a little too fast, isn't it? Then we get this sound. So instead of increasing the speed, we need to increase the volume by widening it. Like they open here. So if we do the speed, it starts to do that. So it sounds forced and out of tune because you get out of tune octave in the sound. So we need to keep the center correct. And then you need to widen here so you get more air going. So wider opening rather than faster. Don't think of faster here. No? Yeah. Can we get a more active vibrato still? I'm hearing a bit of. It takes very long to kick in. So from here. Not from here. That sounds very throaty to me. Can we use diaphragm as well? You see, you can do it with your base for the air column is here. Right? So we support it from there. Yeah, let's try to stick to one pitch and don't let it move up and down so much. Our instinct is, oh, we're getting to high registers, so the air has to go. We start blowing that direction. No, because it's forte, the air has to go down, the opposite. So the direction of the air is related to the dynamics, to the volume we want to get, not to the register. A little bit to the register. Okay, I'm not being completely 100% honest, but generally speaking, for forte, think lower direction. For piano, higher. Right. So if we want to do a diminuendo, if you want to do a crescendo, the other way. So this line is developing. So la do re fa mi to here. That note for me would be the lowest direction air, the E. So la do re fa mi do si la fa si. That's what's happening with the air, I think. Can we try this, right? So start. So la do re fa mi. Move it down for each note more and more. That's going to be our most expressive note. Already before we need some vibrato. We can go suddenly no. Can you develop vibrato through those notes? Well, maybe it's too much to start with. No. Develop it as you go up. Where is piano? Way after this, isn't it? So it's even here it's not piano yet. We were at forte. Beginning of diminuendo is here. Here. So until this point, it's not piano. So you're way too small already. You know, we need to sustain the forte. I know it's hard for breathing, but try to sustain until the B. Mi do si la fa si. So we need to get to this point where si do mi is really the soft point, right? Why did we go from A together? Sorry. Maybe stopping too much.
From what?
Letter A?
I don't have letters, sorry.
Oh, this la, si, do, mi.
Yeah.
Okay, you're out of air, it's okay. Let's go on. You want to move the tempo a bit here? communication, poco stringente. So you have to do this to know what you're doing. So try to involve more, a bit of connecting when we're playing together. Yeah. And sometimes piano leads, so you have to look at him. You know, it's a chamber music project as well. Si do mi do si do si do. Even in the middle of the slur, but not before the arrival point of the last note of the scale. That's not a good place. So if you know already a bar before you're running out of air, quickly think where should we take a break, because it happens all the time. So you, and also maybe before, you can sort of mark your emergency breathing places. I do that sometimes, like because in the concert sometimes you run out of air earlier than in rehearsal, so you need to know your secret spots for breathing. Okay, let's go. One bar before poco stringente. Some reason you use less air. It should be the opposite. Can we try to get the so every note has full bow on it, not it's disappearing way too much. So try to sustain more. Derek, again. I like the idea, but there's no fermata or anything like that. So that's acceptable, but maybe not twice as long as the written value. One more time. Another one is the color. So forte means certain intensity there. Can we try to get the same idea a bit more into the flute? Finally we get the long phrase at the end. So there are many short phrases. See the sub phrases. Can we try to find the color that is a bit more intense? Sorry, I was getting flat. I think because my flute is cold. But in the sound. What about the rhythm? Re, do, la, si, fa, fa, not la, si, fa, fa. You're waiting too long on that. Good, but can we keep the expression? We don't want to be also. So we need some vibrato, and careful with the center. Now it's getting too flat. You can be a little free, of course. It doesn't have to be super mathematical again, but some vibrato. Phrases here, because it's not sounds all like completely one phrase. I think she helps us with articulation to see that it's see it's suspension resolution. Same, yeah. Same idea. It's always do, si, do, la, si, and then a much longer beat to mi, fa. So, can we have a little diminuendo? Do, si, do, la, si. Always a little bit lighter on the second note. Pick up to that. Do, si, la, si, do, do, do. So we don't want to be too calm on this, like every phrase and section, it's an arch, right? It reaches its top and then it calms down. So can we have a lot more of that? And maybe not too calm on the trill. I made a point of exaggerating the other way around, but not. It's not William Tell kind of trill, It's different, right, from this. I think here more agitation. So. Yep, to the full speed eventually. in 2. Bigger, and also the interval itself is getting bigger eventually. The first is 6, 6, then octave, octave, and then an octave and a half. So can we feel that expanding each time? Yeah? It's getting more and more intense, and getting to real forte. And then be careful with repeated notes. Connected, yes, but also clear. Not hear very clearly each repeated note. So me. More. Good. So first we have kind of dramatic. And then here it's changing. Suddenly it's getting elegant. And then so fa fa si re re do si 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 diminished chord. Here we're a bit more dramatic. Si 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 up 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 and melting away. Can we feel those details? So sub phrases. Can we try just that? Where are you going to?
The C.
Right. Here, right? Let me try. Can you show us more? Well, so it doesn't help to go to the C if we start from think of it as a pickup almost, not as a down bit. Yes. Take us here, please. Take us here. Next one. Next one bigger. Next one still more. And the biggest one. That's still 40. Yeah, so this one takes much longer. We had bigger that one is, it takes 3 times longer, 4 times longer to come away. So that whole measure is sustained really. Only here. So let's try this section now together. Really go to the middle and put some vibrato on it as well. More exciting. Dramatic. Okay, let's go on. Actually, let's jump this section. Sorry, we spent a lot of time on that. Let's go to the. Make sure we hear every note there, and don't rush. And full air support on each one. And then we have to also find the gravity points of the harmony. Yeah, so we have. So feel that, the weight of the dominant. Yeah? Absolutely. So, attempt it later. So he has down it. Okay. Can you try to sustain the air more? I hear too much of. there's no way to do that. I think solfeggio is so superior in that sense. You can sing at any speed, no? Again, make sure you really read where dynamics are. So what's the idea here? You develop well, and then it's only here that it's bound. Again, it's a torture always with a cold flute to demonstrate. It's getting out of tune. So there. And full air support for every note, even when it's staccato. Never let it just relax. Not never. Always support the air. Yeah, that's it. Much shorter. Sorry, the character here is Z. The length of the note is essential because it completely changes the character. If we do no. So the articulation really tells us a lot about the character. You know, my favorite example for this is Eine kleine Nachtmusik. If you ever play it with long articulation. It's so serious, no? But if we put the proper articulation, short. It's about the length of the note, a lot of it. It helps us to show what we want in character. What do you want here? You don't want to be. So let's try that. Directly there. Look, see, that's the lack of communication I'm talking about. He had no idea to do it. How is he supposed to know? So, can you show? So you have to practice that. It's an essential skill. If you're playing in any kind of group with more than one person, it's more than just you. You need to be able to do this. So how do you think of the tempo? Try first breathing in time. Do one. So 4 is for breathing, 1 is for playing. 4, 1. Good. After again. Better, yeah. Okay, now look at him. So sorry, I distracted and doing half page turn. Okay.
5 minutes.
You're right, it does say piano there, but there's a difference between piano and whispering. We don't want to whisper, we don't want to be you're not really playing, you know. Piano still supported. Piano is the color. It doesn't mean it's always soft. Piano is less pressure in the sound, right? So we still need to project enough so we can hear together your thirds and mono hand. Okay, look, this is not important. Let's skip section. Since we have only 5 minutes, let's do a little bit of the cadenza. Cadenza is free, it's true, but you waited so long before starting, I thought you stopped. So, within reason, you know, after we have to be able to continue the idea. So it's not a full stop, not that's how it felt, you know. So after you finish that note, we need to stay engaged in your idea. So play do sol fa, the end of that. So one thing you have to know about cadenza writing, the values of notes are more of indication of direction of tempo. Like here you have mi, fa, la, 8 notes and then 16 notes. Do, la, fa, mi, fa, la, do, fa, fa. I don't think she meant it. Da, 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 ta, 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 suddenly going twice as fast. What it tells you is that it has to get faster. So start slower. Cadenza is free generally, but this is a clear indication, all like here. Opposite. 16 notes changing to 8 notes. Again, it doesn't mean da 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 da. We're not going suddenly twice as slow. So think of it more as a sort of direction in tempo. Yeah, let's try. So don't give us a clear border between 8 and 16, but it's actually written there, no?
C sharp.
Exactly. So it's not mi, fa, la. No, it's we're going here. You cannot go there to do. Then it's a sudden thing, no? And then going back down. Slowing down rather than suddenly. Erase that border first, because music is written this way. You know, we have only 16th and 8th, which is half the value. But I think in reality, especially in cadenzas, it's a lot in between. Also 24th and 18th and 19th. You know. Don't think of it in that binary mode, you know. Think of it as an expression, as a phrase. If you sing without thinking, no, si, re, do, la, fa, do, fa, la, just slowing down. Softer, because it makes sense not saying one is wrong and one is right, but I think you should try both ways and see what do you prefer. Because also after that, you know, it's not really strong here, is it? If we do to me it's too dramatic for this whole cadenza. I think it stays in lighter colors in general. Look, we have to stop. So I think sorry about this. We couldn't go through the whole thing. Maybe before we do that, can we try just the ending once, the presto? Yeah. I wonder if we can get sound to open up, because that is the climax of the whole piece. you doing the other piece as well? You want to play it now, or should we? Why don't we work on this first, and then fix it up. Definitely won't forget. Great, beautiful. Such a lovely piece, isn't it? The Serenade. What do you think is the mood here? What is she trying to say? How would you describe it? What adjectives would you use?
Peaceful.
Okay, at the ending maybe. Peaceful, but a little sad, isn't it? It's some melancholy in this. I think it has this like sweet settings. It's true. It's like not tragic, but and then there are lighter moments always coming up. So generally we have this minor and major here that keeps changing. I think major is somewhat more optimistic, and then of course it ends in major. You know, like Bach. You guys know your roles pretty well. I can see when you're not leading, you're trying to stay out of the way. But also make sure when you pick up the line from violin that you continue. Sometimes you start a little softer and then it sort of breaks the. Sometimes you take over from his line and continuing that up. One thing I didn't hear from both of you in that main theme, mi, si, so, si, re, do, sol, fa, the piano subito. So you're starting mezzo piano and then there's a crescendo towards the end of the bar and then subito piano. So we do need to feel that, as if it's going somewhere and then not really arriving, So that part I think actually it's really cool. So after water. An interesting thing, this is descending line, but the harmony is getting more intense as we go. Because we have first. So I think it's not really just always getting softer. Something in it is getting more intense as well at the same time, right? So starting. That's the part I want to feel that. And suddenly all weak, So can we try to get more of this difference? Why don't we go from the beginning? I'll bring my stuff. To me that vibrato is a little dramatic. If we go. That's too much. Can it be a little bit more intimate here? A little more private. Yes, it's weeping a little bit, but not in a Puccini way, not tragic. Sorry, Mike. Can't find it. No, it's fine. She also leaves the piano part free at the end. To me, it's hard to do completely in tempo. Then it doesn't make a lot of sense. So, sol, fa, si, la, re, do. And maybe that also means in French music it happens a lot. When you want to take time somewhere, you have to push right before. Do, si, la, sol, fa, si, la, re, do, sol, fa. So let's try that. A little. more. Who is the leading voice in this duet?
Flute.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to be a little bit more. You're giving him too much room. So it's becoming sol, mi, si, fa, mi, sol, mi. He's the secondary voice here. So that's just a little breath in sol, mi. La, sol, fa. We don't want to come away also so much that it's becoming sol, si, la, sol, fa. So come away, but within reason, so we can continue the phrase. Let's go directly there. But she wants this comma, you know, fa sol la si do re mi fa sol fa mi. Can you make it more intentional, which means not rushing through it, you know? When we want to hear some details, generally we need a little more time. If you're running through it in time, sometimes it will blur out and we'll miss it. So there. This was not because you ran out of air, but because that's the new phrase starting there. Yeah? Can we go from the violin theme? That's 3 bars before that comma. Yeah. From yours.
So measure 6.
No, 9. You come away so much already. It sounds like it's the end of the section, but we still have that line continuing down, right? We have. He's continuing your line, so remember that. If you come away so much, he cannot do that, right? Let me try it, so we connect this into one line. Maybe it's better you play from the score.
Measure 9.
Let's go from 12. One measure before that.
Oh, so I first.
Yeah. So the last measure, first page. Same place. Yeah, exactly. Because now we modulate it to G major, so tonic, dominant 3/4 chord, right? So do, re. Can you hear that directly there? A tempo. Maybe Si Re can be a bit softer. More. Good. Yeah. One more time. So it's a tempo.
Okay.
Sorry, there are no bar numbers in this. A tempo.
Okay, yeah.
And you're more still. Very simple idea. We do need to hear that piano and pianissimo difference. So whatever that means, if you need a little more on the piano to make that happen, that's okay. But we do need to hear that difference between those. Yeah. And there. Softer and softer and softer. Yeah. Can we go from there? Third measure for tempo. Sol, la, fa, la, sol.
Wait, third measure is
After your do, re, the next measure. Re, fa, la. Nice. Less still. Keep going. Major and a bit more. It's still only mezzo piano, so can we get that a little bit less in your face? Not sol, re, sol, but sol, re, sol, more dreamy somehow. Yeah? After, because here we don't know yet, is it gonna modulate to minor or to major, right? She leaves us hanging there. And on the down, it's still no spoilers. We still only have only the octave in the bass, so we don't know yet. Is it major or minor? And it's still, when you're listening, you think, oh, maybe it's minor because the whole thing was a little sad. So you are kind of a surprising voice here, you know. Slow down a little, right? So some sweetness in that. Can we do one measure before figure one? Do you have figure one? Yeah, okay. No, one more time. Yeah. With the right notes. Possible to get a little more expression on that more vibrato in the violin, so we have it's sort of going kind of 3-note phrases united together, right? Fourth of figure one. You know, also the reason why we need that time, she writes, slow down a little bit, because suddenly it's going in A flat minor, completely unexpected, no? After we do need a little more time, I feel. Can we do one more time, figure one? So far, you know, we didn't have any fortes yet. Mostly it was mezzo piano, piano, all dolce. So yours is a bit more. Also, yours is not on a comfortable chord, right? We have sort of not on the dominant seventh chord. So directly from piano. That's the last note that you're.
Wait, the same place.
No, 4 measures later. So you play. So yours is the first forte we have in this. And this is probably you have forte there.
I have mezzo forte.
In the score, it's a forte. So yours is the highest we had, and also the highest note. Can we get more sound there?
Change the mezzo forte to a forte.
Yeah. So we need that. That is the climax of this little section. Yeah. Can we do from flute? So 2 bars before violin comes. So it doesn't have to be so big, right? After and then we have tempo again. So don't make it too big deal because it's been already slowed down for 2 measures almost, you know?
Okay.
Just that one before a tempo. Start one more time with the right notes, with the C natural.
the expressive, the top note is more expressive. Directly there, a tempo on the violin. Good. Look, one more thing. Is it possible to connect that sol, fa, mi, re without a gap in between notes? I know you're changing the string, but still. Sol, fa, mi, re. Can you connect more legato? You change the bow, but don't make a silence in between. It's better. I prefer this more expressive version, even if it's a little out of tune somewhere. But it carries more emotionally, which is what we have to get here. Now, do, si, la, sol, fa, si, la, re, do, sol, fa. Can we get that to the piano? Can you try that? So. Much softer on the sub piano.
With pickup?
Sure. Do, si, la, sol, fa, si, la. So, can you try and not play completely in time, but so push forward and then take some time at the end. Good. Much better. Like that. Okay. Let's do a tempo one more time. The violin is section to another. You just climax sol, la, fa, la, sol, mi, sol, mi, sol, mi, sol, mi, si. Again, it cannot be completely in time. We do need some time on those around the corners when you're changing direction. So there. It's much more meaningful rather than going. And we only realize after, oh, the theme is back. It takes us a whole measure to realize if you do this. But if you take time, la, fa, la, sol, mi, sol, sol, fa, mi, re. We need to recognize it instantly. Yeah. Can you guys go from forte? Fourth beat of the measure, you know where it is? Si, si for you, and sol, la, fa, sol for you. Yeah. You play 1, 2, 3. You know that these chords are off-beat always, so you can't just play and ignore them, right? Because again, it's chamber music, so you have to listen to him as much as he listens to you. It's both ways. It doesn't work one way. One more time, same place. 1, 2, 3. No, you didn't leave him enough room. He was slower, so you can't ignore it. You can try and push him, but you cannot just suddenly play one beat ahead. So try one more time. Yeah? And if he's behind, then wait for him.
Do you use a middle finger after?
In this case, yeah, for forte it's a little lower.
Okay.
Same place. 1, 2, 3. Take time. Good. Look, can you give us this delicious detail there? Mi fa. Not only it's one is crescendo, another is diminuendo, so it's even though it's same notes, so one is mi fa, the other is mi, but also the second one is pianissimo. They sound almost the same, you know. From the violin theme, which is one measure before the first one. Mi, si. After all this sadness, suddenly it's like in Schubert, you know, the theme we play Schubert, you know, variations at the end. Then spring will come. It's like this optimistic message at the end. So same here after. So suddenly very, very positive. And so that forte needs to be somehow super warm, you know, when you start. And then getting a little more hissy. Can we go from piano theme? That's top E for you. And that's almost 2 measures for you before. Yeah, you know what it is.
A measure 66, I think.
Good. Maybe that pitch is a little too soft. You could give a little bit more sound just to balance it out between piano, flute, and can we try the last 3 measures? Is it possible to get a little more sound? From here it sounds a bit too soft.
Is that too much?
No, not at all. I wouldn't say so. Because bits is so much lighter, you know, it sounds like. I think could be more still. Good. I don't think we have time for the second one. Emmanuel is probably going to be back. So, what do you guys want to do? You want to just play it, Pastor, until he gets here?
Sure.
We won't have time to work on it, but I would love to hear it. And it's short, huh?
Like 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, that's short.
Emmanuel is going to be late for me. know each other's parts.
Yeah.
You can, you know, it's the same when you play in the orchestra, except you have a much larger group of people, and some people do that, they just practice their part, and then you can get so lost if you don't know what is going on around. So in this case, if you don't know his part well, sometimes it's good to write cue at least of the rhythm. So I do that sometimes, you know, if you're playing something complicated, like now I did this piece by a Japanese composer called Yoshimatsu. Between flute and piano, it's so complex. I had to write little cues here and there to keep track, because of course the easiest thing to do is to play from this. So that's another solution. You play and you see each other's parts, and it's a great way to learn as well. I would highly encourage doing that rather than playing from your parts. Like playing from the piano part where you can see all the voices, so also visually you can see what's happening between the two of you. But yeah, knowing each other's part is really, really, really important, and maybe trying it together before also. I think Emmanuel should get here any moment, so bravo to both of you. How old are you? 12. Oh yeah. And you? 17. Good. Beautiful, beautiful job. Perfect timing.